This is another video that I've been pressing on my mind because everybody's freaking out over the coronavirus, the dog-eating virus. There are several things that are going to be good that are going to come out of this. Number one, the Chinese government, the lovely communists that they are, will finally crack down on the eating of wildlife. And maybe there will be no more wild animals in cages being eaten into extinction from the Chinese anymore. That will be a good thing. Because the more and more wild and exotic animals they eat, the more and more interesting zootropic diseases will show up to spread across the globe. The other good thing, so much money is being lost because of this. No company in their right mind is going to want to have their supply chain dependent on China. It is outright ridiculous to have 95% of the United States pharmaceuticals outsourced to China. I want you to think about this. Pharmaceuticals, everything from medication to masks to surgical gloves, it's all outsourced to China. So if China wants to use leverage, let's say we have this disease running rampant somewhere and we can't handle it. We don't have the supplies we needed because the Chinese are going to decide, just let them die, because that's what communists do. It is foolish to depend on them. What's going to happen is these companies, a lot of companies, particularly the ones that take a financial hit from all this, they're not going to want to deal with this every cold and flu season. Every year something comes out of China and you're going to have this nonsense every year. They aren't going to want to deal with that anymore. They're going to move the supply chain back to this hemisphere, probably in Mexico. Because a lot of people don't realize it. What was after the NAFTA deal was signed, everybody went to Mexico. And then when the labor charges, the wages went up in Mexico, they all moved over to China. And China, because they're a lovely communist government, they make sure that their workers work for next to nothing because they are basically slave labor for the rest of the world. And they're happy to do so. So that's number two. Number three. And I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about that. We have the supply chain, the wild animals, and oh, damn it. I completely forgot. It's ridiculous. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but maybe people will start washing their hands again. I just came out of McDonald's, so I had to take a leak. And as I was walking in, I watched a guy walk out of the shitting stall. He walked out. He grabbed the door handle, and out into the restaurant he went. He never washed his hands. And then, as I finagled my way from, they have no paper towels. In this particular McDonald's, there's no paper towels. There's a hand dryer. And so now I got no paper towel to grab the door handle with, so I got to use my sleeve. I get out there and I realize they got those lovely screens they want you to order the food from. Think about how many people like this guy I just saw walked out of the shitter without washing his hands, and he's on that screen. Really want you to think about that. How often does this happen? Do you notice it? Are you paying attention to it? How many men are going in a can, taking a piss, holding their schlong, and they don't wash their hand when they're done? Now, I don't know what the women are doing. I don't want to know. But maybe if people become conscious enough, look, people aren't going to do anything until they are fearful. So no one's going to wash their hands unless they're frightened enough of getting something. So you have the ass wipers not washing their hands. They grab that handle that of the door that you just walked in, and now you realize you got to open that door, knowing that that guy just walked out of the shitter wiping his ass without washing his hands. So maybe people will start washing their hands now when they think that they might catch something that might kill them, instead of a nice E. coli infection that you might get from somebody who has a different strain. I am hoping. Because what I think is going to happen in a lot of companies is they're going to start mandating hand washing on a regular basis, like we were in grade school, marching everybody off to wash their hands several times a day. That's really important. I really upped my hand game, washing my hands. I'm telling you, I'm in office buildings and medical facilities, and I'm just washing my hands. And the truth be told, I have not been able to stop touching my face, because it's a human thing to touch your face. You touch your eyes, you touch your nose, you touch your mouth, and we contaminate ourselves. So try to keep your hands clean. So those are the 3 things that are going to come out of this. Lovely vibe. Expect this to happen every year. Expect that close to 2 billion Chinese to come up with some infection from their filthy, disgusting cultural habits. I'm not pushing xenophobia. I'm pushing reality. That is the reality of it. And realizing they're a communist government who's never going to tell you the truth, and they're never going to come up forward because they want to save face, so they'd rather let the rest of the world suffer. You're going to have to combat that stuff, and it'll take a while to bring a supply chain back to the United States. A good thing Trump is president, because the supply chain is not coming back with Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden. I can promise you that.